Just your broad thoughts, initial thoughts on what's been happening so far.
Well, the symbolism that we're seeing play out and the optics are, quite powerful. President Trump is a former reality TV star. This is what he does well. He can orchestrate theater and create media spectacles. It's a good thing that the two leaders are meeting. But in some sense, the meeting was the easiest part. The North Koreans have been trying to meet a U.S. leader for as long as I can remember. When I was in the six-party talks negotiating with the North Koreans, they expressed a strong interest in having a meeting with their leader and the U.S. president. This helps to, in their view, legitimate North Korea as a de facto nuclear power. And so in some sense, the meeting itself is more of a North Korea victory than a U.S. victory. As President Trump said, what he's trying to do is get the North Koreans to give up their nuclear weapons.
Yeah, Paul, that's the tricky part, and we don't know, obviously, how long that's going to take or what the tangible steps ahead will likely be. So at this point, now that we're done with the easy part, what would you be advising Donald Trump?
Well, we need to see what comes out of this meeting in terms of concrete steps and a serious commitment by the North Koreans to give up their nuclear weapons and what kind of timeline that would be done on. This is we need to maintain the bar that President Trump set long ago that the administration wants a complete, verifiable, irreversible denuclearization. And so we need to see what comes out of this meeting today to determine how successful this meeting is between the two leaders. We can't declare success yet from the standpoint of the U.S. administration until we see what the two leaders decide in terms of how to address North Korea's nuclear program going forward.
Paul, is there reason to be more optimistic this time round? Because Pompeo said, after all, the context this time is fundamentally different from earlier attempts.
Well, I'm an optimistic person by nature, but when it comes to dealing with the North Koreans and you look at their history, their negotiating history over the past several decades, I think an abundance of caution is prudent. It's not clear yet in my own mind what the North Korean leader is trying to achieve with this meeting or why he's decided to turn to diplomacy. The Trump administration likes to think that it's because of its maximum pressure campaign and the fact that the United States has been developing military options. And that, from that standpoint, that Kim Jong Un is coming into these discussions, this meeting, from a position of weakness. What I often hear from Chinese analysts is that because North Korea now has a basic level of nuclear deterrence vis-a-vis the United States, the North Korean leader is actually coming into this meeting, from his perspective, in a position of greater strength. And if that's the case, then you have to ask the question, is the North Korean leader really willing to give up the nuclear program that his country has worked so hard to achieve over the last 4+ decades?